The Assistant Minister to the PM, Patrick Gorman, with me live in the studio. Angus Taylor says it's a wake-up call for the government that a surplus should be delivered now as a message that the government gets it when it comes to spending restraint. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I think, firstly, for Angus Taylor, who sat around the cabinet table when they promised a surplus that they never delivered, I'm not going to take economic advice from someone like that who made such outrageous claims when they were in government, and we see more outrageous claims today. What we know with this interest rate rise is that it is tough news for many households across Australia. But those interest rate rises that started when Scott Morrison was Prime Minister have shaped the two budgets that Labor has been in charge of. Shaped our budget in October last year, where we implemented plans for cheaper medicines, plans for cheaper childcare, and it's shaping the budget that we're putting together now, because we knew that interest rates were already putting pressure on Australian families. That's why you've already seen some announcements around more action to make medicines cheaper through 2-month dispensing. You've seen action around making sure that we invest in the things that we know Australians want in terms of jobs and skills. And you'll see more in 7 Sleep's time about what we can do. The Reserve Bank is independent. We respect that independence. But what we can do in this budget to support Australian families.
Yeah, to support Australian families, but without adding to that inflationary issue. That's a reality, isn't it, that the government's got to be aware of. As much as everyone would want people on job seeker and single parent payments and all of those less well off to have some more support, all of those dollars will be spent and therefore to some extent add to inflation.
And you talk about the dollars already spent. I mean, the starting line for this budget is $1 trillion of Liberal National Party debt. So we start with a range of restraints that I wish we didn't have, but that's the reality of what we inherited from the former government. Now, when it comes to what we have to do, we have to look at what responsible cost of living relief can we provide, but that also has an economic dividend, because if we're just doing things that only add to inflation, then we're not actually helping anyone.
Do you hear from your constituents in Perth, in your seat, about the pain they're feeling right now from these rate hikes?
Oh, look, and we know that people feel a range of different economic pressures, whether it be from interest rate increases, whether it be from the rental market, whether it be from the challenges of wanting to get a little bit more of a pay rise. There's a range of things that put pressure on family budgets, depending on your individual circumstances. I hear that from my constituents. And what I say to them is, look, we are doing what a responsible government can do. That's things like taking action on childcare, making major investments in other important areas of the social safety net, like Medicare and aged care. So we're doing what is possible, and there's legislation in front of the Parliament now that we know will make a difference over time. I look at the Housing Australia Future Fund. I mean, that's something that, Angus Taylor, the Greens political party, they could all get behind. We know that would help put more social housing into the mix. Again, taking pressure off the private rental market for a range of politically driven reasons, not for policy or economic reasons. They've chosen to oppose that.